Hello and welcome to Round 1 Front 9 action of the 26th Annual Upstate Classic, presented by Play It Again Sports and the Upstate Disc Golf Club. On Catch Cam today we have Hartford Berley. Drone footage courtesy of Jonathan Monroe. The commentary team is Gabe Brown and Todd Lyon. On the card today we have Scoggins from Taylors, South Carolina. Monn from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Johansen from Denver, North Carolina. And Davidson McMurray from Lawrence, South Carolina. Hole 1 is a par 3, 265-foot shot with an OB creek all along the left-hand side, so try not to come in too hot.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to footage of the Upstate Classic. Gabe Brown and Todd Lyon here with you. We're going to be watching Scoggins lead off today on hole 1.
It's a pretty quick start. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of the creek. Everybody who plays Timmons ends up in the creek several times.
Yeah, it's a benefit to kind of go for it, because if you can get right next to the basket and it happens to go out, it's a really easy par. But if you can park it, it's a good birdie to get. Yeah, that'll play.
This is what you play, right? You definitely play these courses.
So yeah, you saw Steven go first there. We picked him this year to be on the feature lead card. He was really a big leader in our area as the Hurricane Helene came through, and he jumped out there and helped to clean up a lot of the courses, and was manning a chainsaw all over the Upstate, and we really appreciated his efforts. And so we stuck him on the lead card here. Let's see if he can get that par.
It's a rough start, but like you were saying, Helene was just a few weeks before this tournament. As we play through the course, you'll see a lot of damage on this course. It certainly could be worse. A lot of courses have it worse than Timmons got it. But the city did a great job. The volunteers did a great job of getting the course ready right in the nick of time to get this tournament off.
We're watching the guys finish up in their first hole. We picked out this grouping with the Upstate Disc Golf Club for this feature card. Scoggins for his efforts. Monn because, as you many know, he swept the AM Majors this year. Johansen because he is one of the bigger names in the sport.
Back and forth between, do I throw a putter, do I throw a mid for the swing?
This is a par 3, 195-foot hole, hole 2. It's a real short hole, but the creek's right behind it. Monn's going to try to probably spike hazard this.
This is actually a bit of an interesting route. With Helene coming through, you can see all the root balls over on the right. There's probably 6 or 7 trees on the right side there that used to prevent you from being able to quite throw that line.
Yeah, it didn't take people long to figure out that was a new way to go.
Well, straight line is the standard line that we've been throwing for 20 years.
Yep. Davidson McMurray, we added him to the feature card. He's just one of the young up-and-comers, real positive attitude. And that's what we put value on when we were choosing who was going to be there, is the people with talent and also that were had a good attitude all the time, and he represents that in the sport. So we were happy to have him there. So if you're not familiar with Timmons, there's a lot of birdie or die holes out here. You've got to get them. So
There you go. That's a big putt.
yeah.
My personal feelings on Timmons is I kind of feel like every time I go out, I'm capable of getting 15 birdies out there. Allow myself to screw up 3 or 4 times. There's no reason I should be shooting any worse than 12 down. And I go out and I shoot about a 4 down every time. It always sneaks up on you.
Good bounce back birdie for Mr. Scoggins.
Good save. So hole 3 is another short little straight uphill coming right back up the hill that we went down for hole 2. Throw a nice neutral mid up the gut into a blind landing area. A little bit of a drop off behind the basket that can roll you down into hole 5's fairway if you go too long on your tee. This year's Upstate Classic was the 26th annual Upstate Classic. I believe it's the second longest continuously running tournament in South Carolina behind Earlwood. Earlwood Classic is up in the low 30s, I think. But Upstate Classic has been going on every year since 1999.
Good shot. Yeah, we met with the city coming into this. Greenville was really devastated by the storm coming through, and they had been working hours and hours and hours just to try to clear all this out, and had a meeting and talked about the importance of how long this thing had been going on, and they understood. So they worked with us. They had people on 30 hours of overtime trying to get this done. We brought in 35 plus volunteers the weekend before, just to guarantee that this thing was playable. So it was a mass effort from everybody involved, and appreciate everybody that had a part in it.
Good putt from Ryan from down the hill.
Absolutely. So hole 4 is a 210-foot par 3. Most right-handers will forehand this. There is a Mando, so you can't just spike hyzer on the right side. They typically like to play just like that, throw a forehand into that hill. Hill knocks it down, and easy birdie putt.
Sawed that one off a little short, but still came out parked.
Yep.
Rare forehand from Michael Johansen.
Ooh. A little unfortunate roll for him there. Ooh.
There you go. Davidson's a youngster who really improved a lot over the last few years. I mean, from about 2021 as a 900 rated player, and about 3 years later getting up into the 970s, even up to 980.
Yeah, I watched him pass my skill level, and he did it in a hurry. So all these guys, there's just a lot of young talent just in the Upstate, and we're very proud of all of them. And like I said, all of them are good people, just great people.
Hole 5, unquestionably the hardest hole on the course. It's, pretty long for a par 3 with this turn. Most of the time, either you end up in the creek on the right, or you just don't quite have the distance to get all the way to the basket.
Yeah, most players are going for a big turnover backhand.
Got to look at it.
Yeah, there's an OB creek to the right that runs along, so if you get too aggressive, it can bite you on this hole.
MJ found himself about in the middle of hole 6's fairway over there. About 5 or 6 years ago, we pushed this basket about 50 feet longer. Used to be located on the hillside, underneath that slightly leaning tree that you can see there. But the erosion was getting pretty bad over there. We were getting tired of discs hitting the roots and rolling into the basket, so we pushed it a little bit farther up onto this plateau.
I think it's a good move. This hole is, like you said, probably one of the more difficult ones at Timmons. It is actually the most. But, you know, it also fits with the flow very well, and this course could use a hard hole, so.
Good line.
Par on this hole is good. They want birdie, but a par is a pretty good score on this one.
In this round, round 1, we didn't have any birdies in the MPO field on this hole, so
Yeah.
no shame in taking pars.
Nope. So this is a par 3, hole 6, 230 feet. Plays a little longer than the distance says because you're throwing uphill, and it's kind of a blind shot for the players. And this fly-through shows those trees there, but the hurricane took those out. So you'll see a stump there instead right next to the basket as this comes in.
It's just a different type of obstacle on this hole now.
Sure. So we had that stump marked as a casual relief area just for safety purpose. So if anything falls and the flags around that, that's not OB. It's just they have to move aside and we'll play it as normal.
There we go.
Yeah.
Don't hit your head on the basket putting that one out.
That was a good shot.
Hillside has a lot of tricky footing, so
It
it's
does.
always a tough putt uphill from there.
That's another good one. Miss that when you're in the creek.
Hole 7, 210 feet. You got the creek going along to the left, but the basket is perched right on the edge of a drop off with the creek about 15 feet behind the basket. Have a real nice obstacle right in front of the tee pad too.
Yeah, it was a nice addition. The city's going to come back and get that eventually, but I thought it was a neat little look for the tournament. Wow, that's parked. This is one of those holes that's a hard shot, not because it's long, it's a hard shot because it's short. And you have to stop it in time before you go OB long. And sometimes that's trickier than the long ones.
It is a delicate throw, and those are 3 absolutely perfect throws.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
All right, so next you got hole 8. All this video was wonderful, but the storm really did a number on this one. It's an elevated basket. You want to get up there to it, but there's a whole lot of new lines opened up by these trees down now.
You can see the down tree right across the fairway, and also that shattered tree that broke about 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, that opened up the forehand line significantly with that going down. And, you know, this basket's up top. It's hard to see, but it's really rocky terrain. Rollaways are prevalent. Happens all the time. Very dangerous hole as far as scores. You can score birdie or bogey very easily. Steven taking the straight line route, and it's stuck, so that's good.
It was a beautiful throw. I always like the backhand line up there, just sliding it in above the basket.
And there's one of the rollers stopped in the root ball there, so he'll get casual relief from that lie if it's in there.
Buttery smooth on that throw.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking his relief there, so he's got a little bit of uphill putt now.
First star frame of the round. Good work, guys.
Yeah.
Hole 9 is one of the trickier holes on the course, playing along the creek with a very narrow fairway. most people choose to throw forehand off to the left and skip it into the green.
Yeah, that creek to your left is OB. It gets a lot of people with any bad kicks you can get. But that is about as good as it gets.
That's how you want to draw it up.
Flag set up. Wow. That is crazy.
The center line on this hole is hard enough. Now with that giant root ball in the middle of it, I'm not sure if we're going to see any throws up at this entire tournament.
Yeah. Probably a mistake if it happens. Wow.
Great putt. That was huge.
That was big. Oh. So close.
Good effort from Stephen. And Ryan closes out a nearly perfect front nine. Thanks for watching the front nine with us, and see you on the back.